we teach. There are many others who would be here except for the fact that they are representing the district on athletic fields across town, completing their IB applications, tutoring students, preparing our student musicians, and in meetings with parents about the new IB offerings. Ann Arbor teachers are incredibly busy people. Our goal is to remind the board and the public of the commitment we have to our students, to our community, and to the collaborative practices that should characterize decision-making in the Ann Arbor School District. I occupy a unique place within our district as the only current teacher who has also served as a trustee on the Board of Education. I know personally about the tough decisions that come before the board. I know the challenges are daunting. I've been committed to educational excellence in the Ann Arbor community for over 20 years as a PTSO president, a member of the PTO Council, and as president and vice president of the AAPS Board of Education. I also have first-hand knowledge of the many brilliant, talented, and hardworking professionals I have worked with throughout AAPS and at Scarlet Middle School for the last 12 years. All of us are motivated to do what is best to ensure students the high-quality educational opportunities for which Ann Arbor is rightly known. However, there are significant differences of opinion, confusion, anger, and much disappointment about how we go about accomplishing that goal at this point. We have substantial concerns about how the discussion of potential changes to the teacher contract contradicts our community's values. Ann Arbor is a community that values its teachers and respects the work that we do. Our speakers will be respectful, and we are committed to setting a good example of what public discourse should look like. We will not boo or interrupt while people are speaking. We ask audience members to hold any applause and refrain from outbursts until speakers have finished talking. We have asked that the speakers that speak on behalf of AAEA focus on the issues at hand and avoid personal attacks. We know that others who speak may present valid concerns, but if the tenor and tone of their remarks does not comport with respect and fairness, those speakers do not represent the AAEA. Ann Arbor teachers are presently engaged in planning and organizing all of the fun and exciting activities for students and families that traditionally herald the end of the school year. Music concerts, chaperoning proms and field trips, prepping for graduation activities, promotion ceremonies, organizing ice cream socials, and many more. Today is May 13th, and there are less than 5 weeks of school left in the year. Yet last Monday, as Teacher Appreciation Week began, staff and parents received notice that the district believes the contract between the district and its teachers is due to be updated. Staff is well aware of the significant financial challenges that have faced our district. Ann Arbor teachers have made sacrifices year after year to ensure the solvency of our district and to protect many of our beloved and award-winning programs. From pay cuts to wage freezes to elimination of step increases, teachers, along with office professionals, custodians, and bus drivers, have borne the brunt of cost cutting since 2008. Excellence continues throughout AAPS for students because of those sacrifices. Specifically with regard to teachers who make up the majority of AAPS employees, willingness to do more and receive less has prevented draconian cuts to important programs our community values. The district's stance on terminating the teacher contract does not acknowledge nor respect the sacrifices that have saved the district nearly $8 million over the last 3 years. Ann Arbor has a long history of teachers working collaboratively with administration to craft creative solutions to the very real financial problems that face the district, and we don't understand the unwillingness on the part of administration to collaborate now. The process being used to force teachers to come to the table is flawed. Our position is that we have a valid contract that has not terminated just because the district claims otherwise. We are especially concerned because it seems that the district is opting to embrace some of the most destructive areas of state legislation from Lansing that our community, including some of you, fought jointly against in a rally downtown just last summer. Tonight you will hear from others who are concerned about the direction the district is choosing to take, which runs counter to the values of the Ann Arbor community. We are committed to civil discussion and hopeful that you will take to heart the very real concern shared by the teachers in our community and find a more cooperative way to work forward.
Dr. Swift, Board of Education, esteemed colleagues, and members of the community. My name is Tamala Bell, and I am a 3rd grade teacher at Bott Elementary and a proud member of the AAEA. I know that I speak for all teachers here tonight in our school colors, as well as those that are not able to attend, when I say I love teaching. I love and I am committed to its success. I am a proud product of the Ann Arbor School District, from kindergarten at King and Logan Elementaries, middle school at Clegg, and a graduate of Huron High School, Go River Rats. I am proud that my children are also products of the Ann Arbor Public Schools, and that my parents still reside here in Ann Arbor. However, collectively, as teachers, we have specific concerns that we would like to address. On May 4th, the first day of National Teacher Appreciation Week, Dr. Swift sent a letter to every teacher in our district. Many of us opened that letter and hoped to anticipate acknowledgement of our hard work and dedication to our students, our district, and our community. The beginning of the letter did contain those things. However, imagine our surprise when we realized it in fact continued on to tell us that our contract needed to be updated. I know that many of us were shocked because we have taken 3 pay cuts and pay freezes in the past 6 years to do our part to help our district during a time of financial crisis. The email continued on and mentioned that our union was notified of your interest in bargaining, and you awaited our reply. This is concerning for 2 reasons. 1, for teachers, April 14th is the 4th quarter. It is the end of the school year, and a time, as Ellen said, when many teachers begin the critical work of ending our school year on a positive note, with the traditional year-end celebrations that we have all come to expect. The email mentioned that the district was awaiting our reply. That suggests that the union had nothing to lose by simply bargaining. We all know that is not the case. In the email, it stated that you wanted to align our contract and be consistent with most districts across the state, and in line with Michigan state reform legislation. These phrases raise several red flags for teachers. Why, when our district is fighting Lansing on the issue of open carry, did they now feel compelled to align with Lansing on our contract? Why is this important to be consistent with other districts? The recent vote on Proposition 1 shows that Ann Arbor voted very differently than the rest of our state. We have unique values. When the University of Michigan reached agreements with all 5 of its unions to protect their employees from right to work through 2018, they demonstrated that our community has different values. The email also mentioned that a website would be provided with information and frequently asked questions. Many teachers that I have spoken with are confused about that as well. While the email said they wanted to align with Lansing, upon closer examination, it speaks about the district finances. Finally, I would just like to thank everyone for listening to these teachers' concerns. We believe that the district's aggressive stance on our contract will undermine our ability to remain united against our state legislature. Last summer, we were heartened by watching our union president, Linda Carter, stand side by side with Dr. Swift at a rally in Lansing against our state legislature. If you agree with me and share these concerns, please stand. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Monk-Rising, and I am a parent of 2 lovely children in the Ann Arbor Public School District. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. As a parent, I have been extremely excited by the positive direction that our school district is taking and truly appreciate the inspired vision that Dr. Swift has for our district. I have been on the Burns Park PTO for 5 years as fundraising coordinator. I have been an art angel, a library volunteer, as well as a room parent. I spend more time in 1 week in our building than most of our parents actually spend in an entire year. When I am in our building and in other buildings in our district, do you know what I see? I see a dedicated principal who is passionate and caring, an administrative front office staff that is insanely helpful and accommodating. I also see teachers taking money out of their own pockets to make sure that their students will each have a protractor so that they are able to finish the homework that is the curriculum by the district. I watch teachers in the summer make makeshift bookmobiles, pull up in parking lots of schools so that their students can have the opportunity to continue to read at the required district level when they start again in the fall. I see teachers spending lunch hours coming in before school, staying late after school to ensure that our children, my children, your children, and their students will have the enrichment that they deserve and are not being reimbursed or compensated for it. In light of the letter that Dr. Swift sent on May 4th, as a parent, I would like to ask all of you to take a timeout. I give my children a timeout when they're at play dates and can't decide who gets a Lego. I give my children a timeout when they are working on homework that is too difficult. I give myself timeouts when life gets hard. I ask them to take a deep breath and close their eyes and count to 10. So I'm asking you all to do the same thing right now. While in your timeout, please take a moment to realize that our teachers are the reason that we are all here. They're the reason I'm here as a parent, that you are all here as board members, that they are all here to support this evening. Our teachers are the backbone, the linchpin, and the foundation of the Ann Arbor Public School District. Our teachers should never leave a contract negotiation meeting feeling disappointed. They should never feel that the district has taken aggressive action towards the goodwill that they have shown. They should leave these meetings feeling excited and inspired, and most of all, appreciated. And they should take those feelings and take them to the classroom and teach those and show those and send those forward to our students. In a district that is making such positive strides with such a forethinker at the helm, our teachers should be given the respect that they deserve and the time that is needed to negotiate a contract that they will feel good about and that is representative of their values. Now, my apologies for putting you all in a timeout. It was more difficult for me than it was for you. I do hope, though, that while you were counting down from 10, that my message did not fall on deaf ears. And to all the Ann Arbor Public School teachers, as a parent, and I hope I speak for all the parents, thank you.
This is my daughter's favorite teacher at Community, Judith.
Good evening. I'm Judith Kowalskin, a teacher of literature and writing classes, and the matriarch at Community High School. In my 30 years at Community High, I count 7 deans, 2 assistant deans, and 600-ish wonderful teachers with whom I have worked congenially and productively. There were 7 superintendents in that list too, 2 of whom were teachers of English. What could be better? This job, as many colleagues have reported, is wonderful because of our genuine love for our students and the material we study and teach. On this, we all agree. But I'm troubled on 2 counts. First, without salary steps and debts paid, teachers are still really struggling. No one becomes a teacher to make lots of money, but no one who devotes herself to teaching expects to struggle to make ends meet. Teachers deserve to be able to afford mortgage payments in Ann Arbor and daycare for their babies. Second, education is much about dialogue between teachers and students, as well as teachers and administrators. Public commentary, open to all, should never result in admonishment or disrespect. One benefit of being the matriarch is having the long view, gaining an understanding of what contributes to the greatness of the Ann Arbor schools and what detracts from it. Open dialogue and genuine trust between teachers and those who govern and oversee the district provide the most consistent and critical, if not obvious, foundation for greatness. Our schools have made vast innovations that would never have worked without trust and dialogue. In my building, we worked for years to put our block schedule into place, and it works because we all listened, engaged in a lot of friendly fire, talked, and compromised. No one was ever shut out from the discussion. My appeal is simple. Talk with us, engage us, don't impoverish us. If under the combined pressures of extreme financial stress and increasing external demands on our time and curriculum, we descend into adversarial camps, we all will have failed. We will have failed ourselves and the students and parents who quite literally entrust their futures to us. There will always be things we cannot afford, but there is also one thing we cannot afford to lose, and that is the faith and confidence this community has placed in our collective ability to serve them. We will lose that if we present to them a show of belligerence and intransience. We all have common cause. The only viable passage through this crisis we face is more effective cooperation, more open dialogue seeking real solutions, and more clearly structured channels to work toward our common cause. Together we can plan programs and pilots that involve all of our diverse expertise. We can craft them so they don't drain resources needed and deserved elsewhere. We can keep this district a model of achievement and innovation and avoid a morass of declining morale and enthusiasm. We can keep brilliant young colleagues from fleeing the district, if not the profession, a disastrous trend unfolding before our eyes at this very moment. Please reflect seriously on this choice we face. Thank you.
My name is Steve Amick, and I'm a member of Nothing. I want to testify about the respect I believe our teachers, very special teachers, deserve as game changers. I'm a parent of a child in an Ann Arbor elementary school. I'm also a product of the Ann Arbor schools, from kindergarten on up to graduating from Huron High in 1982, back in an era where Ann Arbor teachers were expected to be and respected as career educators, not simply, as may soon be the case, the cheapest applicant you can find straight out of school expected to do their time and either burn out and move on. I came through in an era where parents didn't have to consider private education to ensure their child's future. For me personally, having had experienced, dedicated educators growing up is more than just a nice thing. It had major real-life benefits for me. I'm able to do what I do for a living now. I'm a nationally published novelist because of these educators early on. Teachers like Jan Newman and the great Stan Bidlack, principals like Coleman Jewett, humanities teachers like Andrew Kerrigan, who not only taught at Huron, but also at the university and continued to be a poet, publishing. And by the way, if you're serving on the board and you draw a blank at the name Bidlack even 10 years after his retirement, you should know the legacy you hold in your hands. I'm far from alone in my career achievements. Among the many success stories from my Huron years alone and my narrow field alone, there's my best-selling nonfiction colleague, John Bacon, internationally published poet and editor, Deb Garrison, Dave Goyer, writer and producer of the Batman and Blade movies, and on and on. Pioneer has an actual Hall of Fame displaying the many success stories of their alumni. College recruiters ranked the Huron High grad on par with the best prep schools of the East Coast, and many of my friends went on to Ivy League schools and professions that were inspired and encouraged by wonderful, special Ann Arbor school teachers. I hear about potential across-the-board shakeups at Huron and other schools, including massive cutting of teachers' pay. That all sounds to me suspiciously like the sort of Scott Walker Koch brothers theory of education. That a school or school district will continue to have its same cachet and brand and national standing and continue to be what it is simply because of where it is, not because of the quality and experience of the teachers and the professional respect and salary they are afforded. One major reason Ann Arbor continues to appear on those national lists of best places to live is the special quality of the education here. That in turn affects the property values, which in turn affect the tax base available to the city, etc. That whole chain begins with properly paying and respectfully supporting our educators. I'd like to read a quote. Quote, "Our teachers are amazing, and the powerful and positive difference an effective teacher makes in the lives of our students is significant. Effective teachers serve as game changers for our students every day, and we are fortunate in the Arbor Public Schools that our students thrive under the competence and care of a constellation of quality teachers across our classrooms and schools," unquote. That was Superintendent Swift 5 days ago in an open email on the occasion of Teacher Appreciation Week. I agree. And I submit that in order to continue to ensure that we have dedicated, experienced educators shaping our children and our place in national rankings, we should do more than a plate of donuts in the break room and some hand-painted poster board attaboys one week, and then go back to treating them like replaceable day laborers the rest of the year. When looking at these seasoned educators, I submit that you should look at the big picture in terms of the legacy of Ann Arbor's standing in the national rankings. I submit that any pay cut you further inflict on them be equally inflicted on all administration, right up to the top, and all clerical staff. In fact, do that first before the teachers. Thank you very much.
Good evening. One thing before letting me speak to you for a few minutes. I am running for the open WISD board seat and wanted you to know, put a name with a face. But I also want to tell you the 3 reasons that I'm running. And some of that has been talked about tonight. We have to begin to address the issue of school finance. How schools are allocated the resources that are necessary, allocated the resources that are necessary to run a business. And so that's a concern. My degree from University of Southern California is in school finance. The second reason I'm running is around access, specifically giving students access to technology and high quality teachers in all of our schools, particularly the schools that are part of the ISD. And then the third issue has to do with social justice. And you heard about that earlier, that we have some issues that we clearly need to resolve. In addition to my petition to you relative to WISDC, I serve as an assistant professor in the College of Education at Eastern Michigan University and work as a consultant for the Michigan Department of Education, facilitating the African American Young Men of Promise Initiative. Thank you.
Sorry, Ms. Osinski, does that conclude public comment?
Yes, it does.
All right, I would like to thank everyone who came out this evening to speak with us. Thank you. Are there any points of clarification this evening? All right, we now move on to reports from associations. Do we have our associations here? We're here. Excellent. All right. Is the Black Parent Student Support Group here? Is the Ann Arbor Parent Advisory Committee for Special Education here? Parent Teacher Organization Council? Ann Arbor Administrators Association? I know you're here.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to continue to report to you the activity of the Arbor Administrators Association.